Help support the channel and our Kingdom Hearts content through our Patreon. Warning: this Kingdom Hearts theory may get a little complicated because it has a lot to do with how time works in Kingdom Hearts. And admittedly, this is a rough draft of a concept, but it can make one of the most bizarre moments in the Kingdom Hearts franchise make a little more sense and show its consequences that will be playing out in Kingdom Hearts 4 if this theory proves true. To set up this theory, I need to make you aware or remind you of some concepts in Kingdom Hearts. During Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, they went ahead and explained a little bit more how worlds work. How exactly are we able to visit worlds in Dark Road that we're also visiting nearly 100 years later in games like Kingdom Hearts 3, Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2? Well, in Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, very early on, right before they even go and visit their first world, Xehanort talks about how some of the worlds are being rebuilt after the events of Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. And while some of the worlds are being recompleted, some worlds are already complete and their time has begun to flow. And then he later elaborates, but others are not, and for them, time stands still. So some worlds are standing still in time. The different worlds are all moving forward at different speeds from different starting lines. And this is how they justify worlds in Kingdom Hearts Dark Road basically existing. How we're able to visit Wonderland, Olympus, and some of these other places, Beast Castle. How are these worlds able to be there and for Xehanort to visit them, and on the same timeline, these Disney characters have not aged whatsoever and you're still interacting with them, befriending them as Sora, Riku, other characters. But there's another layer to this that I want to add, because in Wonderland there's a cutscene where Xehanort cuts to 4 years later. He's revisiting Wonderland after everything that's happened in Dark Road, and he's basically on his whole dark journey thing. And he revisits Wonderland talking to the Queen, and the Queen doesn't remember him at all as you see this cutscene play out. Who are you? And then Xehanort even is surprised by this, you don't remember me? And it's a little weird because not only are worlds moving differently throughout time, but I guess memories are also shifting and changing as the worlds are being rebuilt. You can almost interpret perhaps maybe the world standing still in time as some of the worlds are isolated. All these events are isolated. After each visit of these worlds happens, maybe their memories of the previous visit, the previous thing that happened is just gone, and it's just resets for every time a keyloader visits that world because the world isn't complete itself. Now that within itself is a little complicated of an explanation, but they don't fully explain the part about them not remembering Xehanort here. It just kind of happens. They show that 4 years later, they're still in Wonderland, the same things are kind of happening, and Xehanort walks with the Queen. The Queen doesn't remember him at all, period. Which is very fascinating, and this is going to connect to what we're going to be talking about later. But for those of you that haven't played Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, Kingdom Hearts Dark Road is basically a pseudo-anthology with these random flash-forward moments in Xehanort's story. They're meant to show the dark path that he'd go on, but they don't lead to anything in the game itself because we already know who Xehanort ends up becoming. But they might serve a sort of double purpose. And in that one with Wonderland, I think the double purpose is just showing us that memories can be affected by a world's recompletion. Which leads us to what is the main bulk, a core point of this theory. So in Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, the most important and perhaps the most interesting visit in the game, and maybe all of Kingdom Hearts, is the Olympus Coliseum visit. In Olympus Coliseum, they visit the world to go to the underworld and talk to Hades and see if they can talk to the dead upperclassmen. These are characters that throughout many episodes, Xehanort, Ericus, his classmates, were tasked with finding and seeing what happened to them, essentially. Baldur's sister was included in this. And weirdly enough, it works. You are actually able to talk to Keyblade wielders who are not from Olympus Coliseum, not from this world. You're able to talk to them in the underworld. But this brings us to the Kingdom Hearts 4 reveal trailer, where they theorize heavily that this world right here is the underworld. It's completely dark. They're just walking across a rocky path. We don't fully know where this is, but a lot of people theorize it's Hades, and it's mostly because of the ending of this trailer where you see this blue light, very, very Olympus-like, you know, especially just the art style and everything. It looks like Hades. And then this blue light slowly turns red and kind of attacks them. Now, this isn't enough to fully confirm a Olympus Coliseum visit, but Olympus Coliseum is a world in most Kingdom Hearts games. Like, it's one of the most frequently revisited worlds in all of Kingdom Hearts, even the mobile games, even the mainline ones, even the non-numbered titles. There's very few Kingdom Hearts games that don't have Olympus. So it's not a complete shot in the dark to say that Olympus is going to be a world in Kingdom Hearts 4, but the reason this cutscene is very interesting on its own, and why us revisiting Olympus in Kingdom Hearts 4 while Dawn and Goofy are potentially searching for Sora through this, they might be trying to use the same exact means. Seeing, because Sora is basically dead, like the Kingdom Hearts equivalent of dead, I guess. He's on the other side. They're in the afterlife or afterworld, Shalicious says. Maybe they can talk to Sora or communicate with Sora somehow through this underworld. And with Dark Road's worlds working on their own timeline, we don't know how far this stretches. We don't know if by Kingdom Hearts 1, if most worlds are completed and most worlds are following, you know, their own timeline, moving forward at a similar pace to perhaps like the rest of the Kingdom Hearts series, or if they're still moving slower, faster, whatever it may be, standing still, perhaps. And what this brings to mind is that maybe events for these Disney characters are happening a lot faster for them than it is for us. So, for example, Kingdom Hearts Dark Road for the Keloiders, for Sora, the Guardians of Light, is happening 100 years later. Like, their visit is happening 100 years after this for them, right? But for Hades right here, maybe it's just moments. And that sounds baffling. That sounds mind-blowing, but it could be possible. And this scene, I think, could be the connecting tissue for it. So there's this weird moment in Kingdom Hearts Dark Road where Hades gets mad, something happens in the underworld, he gets mad, he wants them out, he wants them gone, and a dark portal pops up just randomly out of nowhere and sucks up all the classmates. Like, they're gone. They're out of this cutscene, and Hades is like, oh, okay. that just happened. That's weird. The Olympus Coliseum logo plays. It's just a weird moment. And like, fast forward a little bit, we get a little cutscene afterwards with Hades. All that angst, and for what? And he's calmed down, and then he says, you, ... and it pans over to this. This is the last time we see this. We get no explanation about this cutscene. We don't know who he was referring to. A lot of people assumed that he was referring to maybe Bragi, because at the very end of Dark Road, they reveal that Bragi is, well, you know, we know who he is. As if you know exactly who Bragi is. But people thought that maybe he's saying you ... to Bragi. Personally, that is possible, but I don't really think so. I feel like after this, Bragi probably just went on his way and just completely dipped. Like he's Lucio, he's just going on his way, he's gonna get another body, and he's gonna do whatever else and watch over Xehanort. Like he has no reason to walk up to Hades, tell him anything. Maybe they'll show it in a way later cutscene. Maybe when we see Lucio and Missing Link, maybe they explain that cutscene a little bit more. But as of right now, that cutscene with Hades is completely like unexplained. We have no idea what's happening there. So to kind of streamline this a little bit, I essentially think that Hades right here is getting angry, and he's looking at Dawn and Goofy, because we know he has a lot of trauma with Dawn and Goofy. Now, the weird part about this, though, remember how earlier I said worlds might be isolated in Kingdom Hearts Dark Road? That's the term I used. Worlds standing still means worlds are, or the time stands still means worlds might be isolated in their own kind of time period. But Hades clearly remembers Dawn and Goofy. So the bizarre part about this, and the reason this is obviously just a crazy crackpot of a theory, is because how can an event in Dark Road happen right before an event in Kingdom Hearts 4, or even at the same time? Like, how does this happen? How is this even possible? And that's going to bring me to another point. So remember how I said earlier, this big cutscene in Kingdom Hearts 3 might end up making just a tiny bit more sense, or rather the consequences of it might. This is one of the weirdest cutscenes in Kingdom Hearts. The Guardians are losing. They're getting clapped. Like they're getting cooked. They're all getting destroyed except Donald. I mean, Donald cooks himself technically, but you know, he destroys Terranort. Then like giant heartless spawn. The Guardians lose here, and this is one of the biggest moments in Kingdom Hearts period. One of the most awkward as well, because the way the game kind of showed this was very weird. It was later explained in Remind, but the Guardians lose here. They lose, and Sora has to save all of them using the power of waking. And he essentially rewrites time. Sora spends the rest of Kingdom Hearts Remind searching for Kairi after he's already saved everyone else, rewriting time, which I think is something we gloss over like a decent bit because, yeah, Sora's in Quadratum because of this, but people seem to think that's the only consequence. And, you know, fair enough, that's what they've shown. But there has to be more consequences to messing with time than just Sora disappearing. Because I think Sora isn't the only one who's going to receive the punishment for this. I also think that the rest of the Guardians, the people he saved, this timeline isn't supposed to exist. This is what was supposed to happen. This is what did happen. The Guardians lost. And I think Xehanort set this up because he knew Sora would rewrite time. He knew Sora would do this, would sacrifice himself for his friends like this. He wasn't going to go down without a fight. He wasn't going to go down without rewriting history so that they would win. But they lost. They lost, guys. And Sora had to travel through time, save all of them. I think the timeline of Kingdom Hearts could be in the balance in Kingdom Hearts 4. And a war against darkness isn't the only issue the Guardians may face. There's consequences to Sora abusing the power of waking, but not just for him, but also for those that he saved, who are living on this completely separate timeline. And I think this separate timeline, this timeline where the Guardians quote unquote win, where they defeat Xehanort, where they, you know, save Kairi, save all the other Guardians, and Sora's the only one who's disappeared, you know, separated from everyone. I believe that maybe the other characters could start disappearing as well, possibly, or rather, the timeline might start, you know, trying to fix itself. In a lot of timeline stories, it's very common for the timeline to try and make adjustments for timelines that aren't necessarily there to try and purge themselves. And maybe Kingdom Hearts' version of that sort of story is an event like this happening at the same time as something like this. And this might be the way all of these mobile games, Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, the Foretellers coming back, the Master being back, this might be how they connect all of it through this big story where all the timelines sort of come together. And the reason why might be just because of Sora, because he decided to save everyone when maybe he shouldn't have. Anyways, that's my rough draft of a theory. I did say earlier this was a rough draft, and I did all of this kind of live, mostly unscripted. If you guys want me to fully flesh out like this theory, I know I'm talking crazy, I'm yapping, but if you think there's any sort of truth to this, any sort of like potential in this, let me know. Like if you have ideas yourself that can expand upon this, let me know, because I'm really interested in this. I know timeline stories are kind of common right now in media. Well, I guess not common, but it's mostly just a Marvel thing. But I think Kingdom Hearts has been setting up this big like time story for a while. I mean, in Dream Drop Distance, the game ended with like all these different versions and ages of Xehanort coming together in 2012. So I think Kingdom Hearts has always wanted to tell a story like this, or has been leading to it. And I know not everyone is the craziest about time travel stories because they get convoluted, they get complicated, but man, the reason I think a lot of people like going to them, or why a lot of writers like doing it, is because they're so much fun. There's endless possibilities. And with this theory, I think the possibilities are endless. And Kingdom Hearts 4, this Lost Master saga, could become a lot more interesting than it already is. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys coming out, showing your support. That'll be it for me, though. My name is Prodigy. And remember to be nice, be safe, and take care, everyone.